Hello, my name is Sasha. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the books that I'll be reading for NEWTS. So the NEWTS is a month-long readathon where I choose books that come from prompts made by G at Book Roost. So I'll link all her videos and all the information down below. But I have chosen 9 to 12 books of what I'll be reading this month. I will not be reading all of them, but I have put them there in case I do want to get that E. Is it E? No, O. The O mark for the 4 subjects that I will be taking my notes for. So I will be taking Ancient Rooms, Defense Against the Dark Arts, History of Magic, and Divination. So the first prompt is read a book recommended by a friend, and I'll be reading Ignite Me by Tahara Murphy. This is part of our Shadow Me Readathon that I'm doing with Abby Lisi the Book Lover, and this is the 3rd month, so this is the 3rd book, and I'll be reading it for that because she has recommended to me. She actually sent me these books. Thanks, Abby. You're amazing. I love you. Wow. E prompt for Ancient Runes is read a book set in past tense, and I'll be reading Dead Until Dark by Charlene Harris. I'm hoping this is past tense. I'm reading, like, I've seen bits and pieces. I'm pretty sure it is past tense. This was a really hard prompt because I didn't want to read any of the books to find out, but I had to, and I thought I've always wanted to read these books, so here I am reading Dead Until Dark. So Dead Until Dark is about Sookie Stackhouse, and she lives in this small town in Louisiana, and vampires have just become legal per se, like they are now a recognized race in this world, and this small town has never seen a vampire until now. And Sookie and Bill have a relationship. If you have seen the TV show True Blood, you already know what it's about. But yeah, I'm really excited. To get an O for Ancient Runes, I have to read a book that's been on my TBR for a very long time, and I will be reading The Lying Down Room by Anna Wakiri. I'm not quite sure what this is a book is about. I believe it is a thriller. My brother actually sent it to me a couple of years ago, which I thought was really cute because he never really sends me anything. He said he was in this bookstore that was closing down and he picked 2 books out and sent them to me. I thought it was the most cutest thing ever. So the next subject I am taking my notes for is Defense Against the Dark Arts, and to get an A in this exam, I have to read a book that is black under the dust jacket. The thing is, I don't own any hardcovers. I do, but I pretty much read them, and I don't want to reread anything unless I have a prompt that tells me to reread books. So what I'm going to do is pick a book that is black. Now I will be reading The Vampire Diaries, The Summoning for this one. Now I read the first book in The Vampire Diaries for the Reading Rush last year, and I thought now is the perfect time to read the second book and see if I hated it as much as I hated the first book. To get an E in Defense Against the Dark Arts, I had to write down a book that I could think of from my TBR, like, straight away. And I thought of The Polar Bear Explorers Club by Alex Bell. This is a middle grade polar fantasy, and I'm just really excited to read this book. It seems really whimsical, and I hope it is a fast read. To get an O in DADA, I have to read a book that is set in England, and I'll be reading Bridget Jones's Diary by Helen Fielding. I love the movie so much, and I really hope that I will like the book just as much. To get an A in History of Magic, I have to read a fantasy, and I'll be reading Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. I have had this book on my TBR for ages, and I know a lot of people do love this book, and I think I will like it too. To get a E in History of Magic, I have to read a book that has a map in the cover, and I'll be reading Zakora by N.N.A. Lachelle. I picked this book up at a supernova at the Gold Coast a couple of years ago. It's a self-published book, and I'm really excited for it. So that is the map there, and this book is about 2 brothers whose sister get kidnapped, so they have to trek across the land to try and rescue her. Now, O for History of Magic is to reread a fave, and I hopefully will have a copy of Red, White and Royal Blue in my hands when I get to this, because I did request it at the library and they haven't accepted the request yet, but I know they will because they accepted Fix Her Up, which I'll talk about in a second. So next subject is divination, and to get an A for this subject, I'll be reading a white book, and I'll be reading Brave by Rose McGowan. I've had this book a long time now. I loved Rose in Charmed and also in Scary Movie. No, not Scary Movie, Scream. Sorry, I always get them mixed up. I believe she is a really good role model for kids to have, and I want to read more about this and see if my feelings and opinions are correct, because I know she has stood up for her beliefs and for women in the Hollywood industry, and I really want to know more about it. Yeah, I just wanna read something by Rose, because I loved Paige in Charmed. I loved it a lot. I loved her a lot. To get an E in divination, I have to read a short story or a book of short stories, and I'll be reading one of the stories from Ghost of the Shadow Market because I can. To get an O in divination, I have to read a book that I have recently acquired, and like I said earlier, hopefully I'll pick up Fix Her Up from the library, but if I haven't yet, I will then pick up Final Girls by Riley Sager, because this is the last book that I have received. I've been really good this month, guys. I have not bought any books. I am filming this halfway through the month though, so we'll see how we go. So these are all the books I'll be reading for August. I'm really excited. Let me know what books you're reading for the NEWTS. I would love to know. And if we are reading any of the same books, let me know, because I love to do a buddy read. I always love buddy reads. Give me a holla. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. You can add me on Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter. They're all at sashreads, and I will see you next time. Bye.